You've screamed at them, hidden from them, and had nightmares about them, but you've probably never seen their real faces. From the 12-year-old boy walking inside E.T. to the surprising celebrity hidden behind the Predator mask, here are 40 actors behind the scariest movie characters of all time. Number 40. Delphine Chanayak. In Splice, the creature Drin looks almost entirely digital, but the performance is shockingly practical. While the legs and tail were CGI, the shaved head and intense physical acting were all real. Delphine actually shaved her head before the audition just to prove she was committed to the alien look. Number 39. Christian Bale. Bale is known for extreme transformations, but for Thor: Love and Thunder, his biggest challenge wasn't weight loss. It was fingernails. His prosthetic claws were so long that he was rendered useless on set. He couldn't eat, drink, or even unlock his phone without assistants doing it for him between takes. Number 38. Roberto Campanella. That terrifying, lumbering walk of Pyramid Head in Silent Hill wasn't acting, it was gravity. Campanella, a professional choreographer, wore 15-inch platform stilts hidden under his costume. The boots forced him to drag his feet, creating the monster's signature heavy, unnatural movement. Number 37. Jamie Clayton. Jamie Clayton became the first woman to play the Hell Priest in the 2022 Hellraiser. While previous Pinhead actors had their voices digitally deepened, Clayton didn't need it. She naturally dropped her vocal register to achieve that calm, ethereal tone without any digital modulation. Number 36. Ray Park. In Sleepy Hollow, Christopher Walken played the human Hessian, but the headless version was actually Star Wars legend Ray Park. Famous for playing Darth Maul, Park performed the combat scenes wearing a blue mask that covered his face. VFX artists then digitally erased his head frame by frame. Number 35. Tom Woodruff Jr. Woodruff isn't just an actor. He's the VFX supervisor who builds the suits. He prefers to play the xenomorph himself because he understands the mechanics better than anyone else. By being inside the suit, he knows exactly which movements will make the puppet mechanisms look realistic on camera. Number 34. Linda Blair. The terror on Linda Blair's face in The Exorcist wasn't always acting. During the scene where the demon thrashes Regan on the bed, the mechanical rigging malfunctioned. It violently slammed her unsuspecting body against the frame, actually fracturing her lower spine. The screams you hear in the final cut are real cries of pain. Number 33. Deep Roy. Tim Burton didn't use copy-paste CGI for the Oompa Loompas. Deep Roy had to perform the dance steps individually for every single position on screen. He repeated the movements 165 times to create the crowd effect, a massive effort that earned him a $1 million salary. Number 32. Tyler Mane. Rob Zombie wanted a Michael Myers who was physically imposing, so he hired Tyler Mane. Standing at 6 feet 9, Mane is the tallest actor to ever play the slasher icon. Before terrorizing Haddonfield, he was a professional wrestler in the WCW known as Big Sky. Number 31. Sid Haig. Captain Spaulding's disgusting, rotten smile was achieved with a custom set of high-end dentures. Haig was actually a veteran actor who had retired because he was tired of being typecast as stupid heavies. Rob Zombie specifically wrote this role to revive Haig's career, turning him into a horror icon. Number 30. Richard Brake. The Night King looks like pure CGI, but in seasons 4 and 5, that was Richard Brake in practical makeup. The application took 6 hours every day. He was eventually replaced by stuntman Vladimir Furdik in later seasons to handle the more intense combat sequences. Number 29. Felix Silla. Underneath the mountain of hair that was Cousin It stood Felix Silla, who was only 3 feet 11. The costume was made of real human hair, making it incredibly heavy and highly flammable. This made the crew extremely nervous, as Silla had a habit of smoking cigarettes on set while wearing the suit. Number 28. Andy Serkis. Before filming King Kong, Andy Serkis flew to Rwanda to observe wild gorillas in their natural habitat. He didn't just provide the motion capture, he also played Lumpy, the ship's cook, in the live-action scenes. He is one of the few actors in the film to appear as both a human and a monster. Number 27. Tim Curry. For the 1990 miniseries It, Tim Curry flat out refused to wear heavy prosthetics, arguing they would limit his expressions and look fake. The director agreed, and the final look is mostly just white grease paint. That terrifying smile is 100% Curry's natural facial control. Number 26, Naomi Grossman. This is one of the most shocking transformations in TV history. To play Pepper in American Horror Story, Naomi Grossman didn't use a bald cap. She willingly shaved her entire head. The drastic change rendered her completely unrecognizable to fans, even when she was standing right next to them in real life. Number 25. Brian Steele. Known as Creature Boy, the 6'7" Brian Steele has played nearly every modern movie monster. For Hellboy, he wore a 60-pound suit to play Samael. It was so hot that he needed a specialized cooling system pumped through tubes into the suit just to keep him from passing out between takes. Number 24. Joseph Bishara. The lipstick-faced demon in Insidious isn't played by a traditional actor. Joseph Bishara is actually the film's composer. The director cast him as the demon because he felt Bishara understood the rhythm of a scare. He literally composed the screeching violin score that accompanies his own terrifying face. Number 23. Bill Nighy. Despite looking like the best prosthetic makeup ever put on film, Davy Jones is 100% CGI. Bill Nighy performed the role on set wearing gray pajamas and facial tracking dots. Every inch of his face, including the tentacles, was generated by a computer based on his specific facial movements. Number 22. Danny DeVito. In Batman Returns, the black and green bile dripping from the penguin's mouth wasn't a post-production effect. It was a real mixture of mouthwash and food coloring that DeVito held in his mouth between takes. He reportedly stayed in character even when the cameras stopped, terrifying the crew. Number 21. Adewale Akinnuoye Agbaje. To become Killer Croc, Adewale wore prosthetics that weighed over 40 pounds. The makeup around his face and neck was so thick and rigid that he couldn't speak clearly off camera. He had to resort to using sign language just to communicate basic needs to the crew. Number 20. Kane Hodder. Kane Hodder is the only actor to play Jason Voorhees 4 times, famous for his heavy breathing stance. Ironically, Hodder is a real-life burn survivor with scars over 50% of his body. Despite this trauma, he agreed to perform dangerous full-body fire stunts while wearing the latex suit. Number 19. Gunnar Hansen. Far from the mindless killer he played, Gunnar Hansen was a poet and author. To develop Leatherface's persona, he visited a school for the mentally disabled to study their movements. He incorporated what he saw into the character's unstable, squealing behavior, adding a disturbing layer of realism. Number 18. Kevin Peter Hall. The Predator was originally going to be played by Jean-Claude Van Damme, but he was fired for complaining the suit was too hot. The studio replaced him with Kevin Peter Hall, a 7'2" actor who also played the helicopter pilot at the end of the movie. Número 17. Javier Botet. If you see a skinny, terrifying monster moving in a way that looks like CGI, it's probably Javier Botet. He has Marfan syndrome, a genetic disorder that results in hyper-elongated limbs. Directors love him because he can perform impossible, disjointed movements practically without needing digital effects. Number 16. Mercedes McCambridge. The terrifying voice of the demon Pazuzu wasn't Linda Blair. It was radio actress Mercedes McCambridge. To achieve that raspy, hellish sound, she chain-smoked cigarettes, swallowed raw eggs, and drank whiskey before every recording session. She was initially uncredited for her massive contribution to the film. Number 15. Warwick Davis. Warwick Davis went from playing the cute Ewok Wicket in Star Wars to the murderous Leprechaun. Despite the heavy makeup taking 3 hours to apply, he insisted on doing his own stunts. That includes the iconic scene where he furiously chases Jennifer Aniston while riding a wheelchair. Number 14. Tony Moran. Nick Castle played Michael Myers for almost the entire movie, but the face you see for 2 seconds at the end belongs to Tony Moran. The studio paid Moran $250 just to step in for the unmasking scene, solely because they liked his angelic face contrasted with the killer's actions. Number 13. Nick Castle. Speaking of Nick Castle, he wasn't even supposed to be in the movie. He was the director's friend and only took the role to hang out on set. The mask he wore was a cheap Captain Kirk mask, spray-painted white, and he was paid just $25 a day to wear it. Number 12. Takako Fuji. Takako Fuji played the vengeful ghost Kayako 6 different times across the franchise. Her terrifying, jerky movements coming down the stairs weren't special effects. She is a trained contortionist, capable of bending her body to mimic broken bones without any CGI assistance. Number 11. Derek Mears. Derek Mears brought a faster, more aggressive energy to Jason in the 2009 reboot. Mears suffers from alopecia, an autoimmune disorder that causes total hair loss. He credits the condition for helping his career, as it allowed him to slide easily into heavy prosthetics and land major monster roles. Number 10. Ralph Fiennes. Ralph Fiennes didn't wear a prosthetic to hide his nose as Lord Voldemort. Instead, his nose was covered in tracking dots and removed frame by frame in post-production. And here's a fun fact. Underneath those terrifying black robes, he was usually wearing women's tights because they were comfortable. Number 9. John Matuszak. Before playing the gentle giant Sloth in The Goonies, John Matuszak was a 6'8" defensive end for the Oakland Raiders. The makeup was a nightmare. The remote-controlled eye on his face frequently malfunctioned, spraying water directly into his real eye during takes. Number 8. Matthew Demerit. While a puppet was used for close-ups, the scenes where E.T. walks were performed by Matthew Demerit. He was a 12-year-old boy born without legs. The filmmakers built a suit that allowed him to walk on his hands, giving E.T. that distinctive low-to-the-ground shuffle. 7. Jonathan Breck. In Jeepers Creepers, Jonathan Breck wore special contact lenses to achieve the monster's wide-eyed look. The problem? They made him completely blind. He had to perform all his stunts and chase scenes without being able to see the actors he was supposed to be hunting. Number 6. Robert Englund. The Freddy Krueger makeup took 3.5 hours to apply and consisted of 15 separate pieces. It was so convincing that Englund once fell asleep in the makeup chair, woke up, saw his burned reflection in the mirror, and terrified himself. Number 5. Daveigh Chase. She terrified a generation as the girl in the well in The Ring, but Daveigh Chase has a much cuter alter ego. The same year she played the horror icon Samara, she voiced the adorable Lilo in Disney's Lilo and Stitch. Talk about range. Number 4. Bolaji Badejo. The original Alien wasn't a professional actor. Bolaji Badejo was a Nigerian graphic design student discovered in a pub. The casting director hired him on the spot because he was 6'10" and so incredibly thin that his frame looked impossible for a human being, perfect for the xenomorph. Number 3. Doug Jones. For Pan's Labyrinth, Doug Jones spent 5 hours in makeup to become the Pale Man. The suit was so heavy he couldn't lift his arms for long periods. The character's iconic shaking hands motion wasn't a creative choice. It was Doug Jones physically trembling from exhaustion. Number 2. Bonnie Aarons. You might think The Nun requires hours of prosthetics, but Bonnie Aarons wears almost none. The makeup artist simply used paint to highlight her naturally sharp nose and striking facial structure. She is terrifying because she looks so human, not because she's covered in rubber. Number 1. Bill Skarsgård. And at number 1, Pennywise. The director of It planned to use CGI to make the clown's eyes look in 2 different directions to unsettle the audience. But Bill Skarsgård said, "I can just do that." He performed the wall-eyed look naturally on camera, saving the studio thousands of dollars and making the character infinitely creepier. Which of these transformations was the hardest to believe? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this peek behind the mask, hit that like button and subscribe for more celebrity facts. Thanks for watching.